I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Vietnam Veterans News Podcast. News of interest about Vietnam veterans from a Vietnam veteran. Now, here's your host, Mack Payne.
This is Mack Payne here with episode 1770 of the Vietnam Veteran News Podcast. News about the Vietnam War and the brave veterans who served there, as told to you by yours truly, a Vietnam veteran. On this episode today, I'm telling you what, whenever you hear a delay like that, that means I screwed up and I'm going to edit that out. Okay.
That's good.
I have two special guests with me today that are going to tell us all about a very special thing coming out of Waco, Texas. A lot of good things come out of Waco, Texas, but today we're going to be talking about something called the legacy staffs, walking canes or whatever you want to call them. I just happen to have none other than Joseph Clarke, who is the sales manager for Brazos Walking Sticks, and the owner's son, none other than Jediah Owen. They're going to tell us all about this, and I have a feeling after you hear what they tell you, you're going to want to buy one of their staffs or canes or whatever. They're custom made and they're amazing, and all you've got to do is go to the podcast website, VietnamVeteranNews.com, and there's a big banner right up there at the top that you can go and you can look at all the different products that they have there. And if you don't want to get one for yourself, I'll tell you what, if you want to impress a friend of yours who is a veteran, or you know a veteran or whatever, if you give them one of these personalized sticks, I guarantee you they'll be a friend of yours for life. So now, without any further ado, I'd like to ask either Joseph or Jediah to come on here and tell us about these. I'm excited to hear more about it because you tell me it has a very, very interesting history. So how about it, Joseph?
Mac, thank you so much for having us on. This is really exciting. It's really good to be serving veterans at all, let alone in this way. We wanted to come and talk about the story behind the legacy staff. The staff speak for themselves. If you go on the website, you can just take a look at them. They're custom, handmade in America by domestic product. But I actually want to hand it over to Jediah, tell a little story about why do we do what we do.
Before we do all that, can you tell us a little bit about the company itself and how long you've been in business and where you started and what was the motivation for the company itself? And then we can go into this tremendous legacy program.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, we've been around about 20 years. I'm new to the mix here. I've been here less than a year, and I've had the pleasure to join these gentlemen and ladies in their pursuit to make America's finest handcrafted walking stick and cane.
Let me let everybody know you are Jediah, the son of the owner. Now we know who's speaking, so go ahead.
Yes, sir. This is my first podcast. You'll have to excuse me if there's any problems with my expressing myself here, but
you're doing great. Keep it up.
Thank you. So I grew up around this stuff. The company was actually started about the year I was born. Like any business or product or project, it usually starts kind of where there's a problem to solve or a demand to fill. And my dad comes from a long line of entrepreneurs trying new things, starting different projects. And at the time, he was making custom picture frames, but he was positioned in a small community where there was some folks that needed work, and there was an opportunity that popped up to make these handcrafted walking sticks for hikers, for people that, mainly day hikers, for people wanting to get exercise outside. Anyway, so started all the way back then. And since then, we have just grown. It's been a family operated business and friends and local employees. And we've just grown slowly and started selling to national parks, state parks, a lot of mom and pop shops, a lot of hardware stores. Started building different relationships, meeting really awesome different people, a lot of interesting stories. throughout the many years that we've been doing this. My dad's been doing this, and I actually got to join the company about 3 years ago. Have had a lot of fun since. I grew up with it. I kind of know the ins and outs of making the sticks, grown up hearing the stories of the different experiences our different sales folks have had going all around the country, meeting our customers, meeting the different people that sell our sticks. And so it's been pretty fun. And I've been last 3 years helping with, a lot of the online stuff, a lot of the production stuff, trying to develop new products, talking with customers, trying to meet folks' needs, trying to solve problems, help people get outside, help people get exercise, feel inspired, not have to use cheesy aluminum medical devices, but actually carry around a American crafted, cool conversation piece that functions really well. So that's kind of where I come at it from and been my experience. So
how many employees do you have there?
At the actual facility, we have 9 employees. It's kind of an interesting question because from the very first of this business, we've operated on a unique model. We have a core of employees here at the facilities, but we have well over that amount, 15 to 20 at any given time, craftsmen, individual craftsmen working from their homes to make these products. That really was from the very start of the company because we felt like it was good for as many people to work from home as they could. And a lot of the employees we have wanted that so they could be with their family, they could be close. They may be a small-time farmer, they may have other projects going on, but they could kind of incorporate their job into the life they wanted to live with their family and close to home.
So for many years you were making these sticks and canes and whatever, and then you got into this Legacy Staff program, which is aimed at honoring veterans. Tell us about that.
Like I said earlier, this business has always kind of been around, like any business, solving a real need, a real problem that's out there. It really started there's 2 threads, and one of them was my grandfather. He's now passed away just a couple months ago. He was a veteran of the Second World War. After the war, he went into retail, became an executive of Dillard's through many years and such. He started getting older. He wanted to carry around a stick, and he would love talking about his military experiences and that, but it's kind of awkward. You don't want to just bring up, hey, I was a veteran, to anyone that doesn't want to talk about it. So we made him a stick that had his rank, what branch of the military he was in, had a nice medallion on top. And he loved it because he would just be walking through the store, picking up groceries or whatever. And whoever was interested would see, they might catch a glimpse of his stick and they'd say, oh, you served in the military? And it was just a perfect jumping off point to have a great conversation about that, or just the conversation maybe go somewhere else. But he really, really loved it. And he asked us kind of to make it custom for him. It just provided a fantastic way for him to talk a little bit about his service, to talk about other people he knew in the service and in different aspects and such. And it became a kind of a jumping off point for relationships. That was one thread. The other thread is our whole family loves history. Some of the most impactful history I've read personally has been about the Vietnam War. I think it's especially an issue for Vietnam veterans because it's kind of, the war not a lot of people like to talk about. So it can be contentious to some. It can be embarrassing to some. Like, some people don't want to talk about it. Some people don't want to bring it up. The vets feel like people don't want to talk to them about it. But there's a lot of people, I think, genuinely interested. I know I, for one, have found the whole thing fascinating and so many elements of it. And so kind of trying to solve that problem of how do you carry on the legacy of how you served or how your friends served or how your loved ones served in a way that's not offensive, that's not in your face, but it's classy. It can be a bridge for those who want it to be. So you're walking around with the stick or the cane, and it's sharp, it's classy, it's well made, it's comfortable to use, besides the fact that it's personalized with your name on it and it has military. But for those that are interested in that, it can be a fantastic jumping off point, a starting point, a conversation starter. And so it's kind of those 2 things that got us thinking, well, maybe we could make this into something that could be of service and of value for more people than just the couple custom ones we made. And that was kind of the beginning of it. We're still figuring out elements of it, but that's kind of the heart of what we're trying to do, and kind of why we're doing it.
You know, Jed, what you said there too was so interesting to me. It was really, it had so much to do with your relationship to Mitchell, your grandfather. The creation of that staff was a heartfelt gift from you to him, not just to honor him, but to free him to speak with people about this thing he felt he sacrificed so much for. He wanted to share with people about the value of their lives and the value of their freedom, and this was the perfect centerpiece for it. That's what always touches me about this.
Can you only buy these through the website? And the people that buy them, are they people who are buying them for themselves, if you can tell this, or are they buying them for someone else?
We've actually seen a solid mix, but to go back to your first question, because of the nature of this particular stick and how customized it is, where you can pick what kind of wood, whether it's a cane or a staff, what kind of medallion. We offer almost 100 of those, or you can laser, a custom design on there if you contact us. And then you have your name, and you have, 3 lines of text where you can put whatever you want in a very visual way. Most of the orders have been through our website or, through calling us directly. We are working on a way to set up kiosks and have maybe different alternatives to that. But at the moment, it is mainly through our website. As for your second question, mainly the people who buy from us, it's a mix. We have probably more people buying it as a gift for someone else, as a gift for their husband, as a gift for their uncle, grandfather, father. But there really is both. I can't say it's really weighted either way. We get a lot of both.
I've been to your website, and I see in there where you can customize this just about any way. And it's easy. It's user-friendly. You can tell them what type of wood. You can tell them the shape. You can give them your military service, and they'll put a medallion on there. You can put names and everything. And I can see how if you give someone, like I'm looking at the picture here where it says Howard Howie Allen from Pennsylvania. Say your grandfather was in the Vietnam War and you gave him one of these sticks. I can see how that would be a very, very special gift to a veteran, especially like you brought up earlier. When we came home from the Vietnam War, we weren't really welcomed with open arms. There's numerous reasons for that, but it is what it is. And I have gone around speaking, not coast to coast, but close to it, to different groups about the veterans. I still run into veterans who will come up to you and talk, since you are a veteran, and they say, I have never spoken about the Vietnam War after all these years, strictly because of the way this person was treated at the airport in San Francisco. Everybody who went over to Vietnam, they were just regular people like you and I, and we were asked by the government to go over and serve in this war. We went over there and we came home. We were just regular people, glad to be home. And some of the things that were said to those veterans are just incredibly terrible. And a lot of these guys, they were affected by it. You're sensitive and you come back happy and somebody comes up and starts screaming baby killer and all this. So I can see how a stick like this would be very special to them after all this time. So I think it's a wonderful thing what you're doing here and encourage you. Matter of fact, I'm encouraging everybody to go to that website, which will be on the show notes for this podcast episode, and order your grandfather or uncle or whoever one of these sticks. And also, there's a little code in there. If you put it in there, it says Mack Payne code or something like that. You'll get a discount. Don't delay. Go over there and get one today. I just can't say enough about it. I don't want to hog the show here. You're supposed to be doing all the talking, but I'm looking at this stick and I just get overwhelmed with what a wonderful thing it is. And something else. I hate to bring this up. Is there anyone else in the country doing anything like this?
So there is one fellow who we're still in contact with that we kind of fed off each other in working on this project. Forgetting the name of his product right now.
So he'll put out something that's on a much smaller scale. And there are others who will pop up across the country from time to time. For instance, they'll take donation Christmas trees and turn them into sticks for veterans too. But nobody is going to be going year round with international dropship capabilities like us.
You're the only people doing it on a professional basis that people can rely on for consistent service and quality. You're going to be there where somebody just doing it on the side, he may be there today and gone tomorrow. You're the real deal.
Yes, sir. I just remembered the name of the other fellow.
Hold
he calls
it.
him. Okay.
So
we'll talk about him after the call.
all right. So we're so excited about it. Actually, we're so excited even just to be on your show. What I think would be best for your listeners is if everybody on this show who would like a free stick or cane, email mackpayne@gmail.com, MACKPAYNE @gmail.com with your name, your rank, your years of service, your branch, whatever you want to say about your service in the Vietnam War. And we're going to give away 4 free custom staffs you can build with us from the ground up, one for each branch of the service that was present in the conflict at Vietnam.
Gosh, that's awfully generous. I will put that information on the show notes for this podcast episode, which is number 1770. And if you're interested in one of these, this is amazing. Send me by email their name and what they want to do, and you'll give them one for free. All
We've
right.
got 4 to give away, and everyone else that wants one, go to our website and type in Mack's name, Mack Payne, in the coupon code bar, and you'll get 10% off, and a small donation will go to the charity of Mack's choosing.
You mean I have to choose the charity?
You get to choose whatever you see fit. It could be the Mack Payne Foundation.
I'm honored that you would do that, and I will definitely pick out a good one. There's lots of good ones out there, especially for the Vietnam veterans. They're everywhere. Matter of fact, I just did a podcast today about a program they're doing up in Palatka, Florida. Most people have never heard of Palatka. It's up in the hinterlands of Florida, and they're doing a project up there of painting murals on the sides of buildings honoring their veterans. And they paint, for all the people in that county, Putnam County, Florida, they're painting the names of the fallen heroes up on these murals, but they're doing it with donations. You know, they don't have enough to finish it, but they need more money. So one like that is where I'd probably make the donations to, because there's many of them out there, and I can't believe this is such a wonderful thing you're doing to not only publicize your product, but also help veterans get some. So I will definitely do that. If you are listening to this podcast, do not delay. Send me that email. And it's simple, Mack Payne, MACKPAYNE @gmail.com. I really appreciate you coming on and telling us about this, and I am very excited about giving away 4 of those sticks. I'm going to get to work on it. Do you have anything else you'd like to add before we close?
So we're just so thankful that you had us on.
Really appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Well,
I didn't bungle it too much, being my first time and all, but
you did a great job. And there you have the story of the Brazos Walking Sticks Company and their special Legacy Staff program, coming to you directly from Joseph Clarke, the sales manager of the company, and Jediah Owen, the son's owner. That was a very interesting story. And please, if you are interested in getting one of these tremendous walking sticks, they call Legacy Staffs, they're going to give away 4 of them, one for each of the branches of service that served in Vietnam: Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force. All you've got to do to be eligible to receive one of these sticks is to send me an email at mackpayne@gmail.com. All you've got to do with that email is, of course, give me your name, your rank, your years of service, the branch you served in during the Vietnam War. And on July the 4th, I'm going to put them all in a hat and draw one out for each of those 4 services. I have one of these Legacy Staffs, and I am totally impressed with it. It is a fine, fine piece of artwork. I will always treasure it, and you'll do the same thing too. It can be for you, or you may have a loved one who is a Vietnam veteran that you would like to present to them. That's okay too. Just put that in your email. But make sure you get it to me as soon as possible so that you might be the lucky one who receives one for your particular branch of service. If you are one of the lucky people who receive one of these sticks, I guarantee you, you will appreciate it. It is a wonderful thing, and I appreciate so much what those guys out in Waco, Texas are doing to honor our Vietnam veterans. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. This is Mack Payne here, closing out episode 1770 of the Vietnam Veteran News Podcast. Thank you so much for coming to listen to these stories. You are cordially invited to return again soon and often to listen to more coming your way on this podcast, the Vietnam Veteran News.
How about that? Ain't that a mess?